On your mark, get set, go. We are gonna make chicken saltimbocca. So happy you guys are back. West Elmira Library on Thursday evening at 7. And we're going to do chicken saltimbocca because I wanted to use my fresh sage. So, before we get started, I'm going to do my trusty trick. I'm going to put my apron on. I already did underneath the apron. Actually, I'm going to brush my hair first. Even though I've done all this, but better safe than sorry. I hope everyone's doing well, staying cool and hopefully dry. It's so humid. But we are lucky around here. Things are pretty good. And I didn't hear if anyone tried my favors from last week. That would have been cool. But this week it's chicken saltimbocca. And it's super, super easy. And I know everyone says it's not easy, I can't do that. Oh, it's so easy, everybody can do it. And I would never do it without fresh sage, which you can get at the grocery store. But I happen to have my own fresh herb plant. Oh, let me wipe my hands. All right, sanitize. Perfect. Did all this, we're ready to go. Oh. Are you serious? I forgot the lip brush roll. Unbelievable. Here we go. It's because I've done this so many times today already. But this is the most important. There we are. Alright, super simple. Let's get started. Here we go. We're going to need chicken breast. So, I wanted to show you guys, I just purchased chicken breast in the store, like this. I try to not have super large ones because I am not going to be separating them or doing anything. They're going to be served this size. So, I like, sometimes if you get a big pack, they're huge. So I kind of tried just to get a smaller one. And then I wanted to let you guys know what I do. I trim my chicken breast. And I know it comes trimmed and all, but I'm going to be putting other fattening things in here. I don't need the extra flavor. I'm trying to use my sage. So I'm going to trim the fat, and I have an awesome trick. You just take your kitchen scissors and cut the fat off. And get a trusty plate. Perfect. Got a lot going on over there. And I'm going to cut up because where the chicken breast has split, you're going to want to trim that. Or at least I do. Totally up to you. This is your recipe. And I also wanted to let you know, I can't handle these little pieces of sinew that are in here. So even though it would be fine, and most people really don't do this, I cut it out. I just have to. So there you are. And I also wanted to let you know that I like the presentation. It's very important to me. So I don't just like trim. I trim accordingly to the way I want the chicken breast to come out presented. So that's that. Then I put it in a pan on the stovetop on high with real butter and olive oil. And I put that in the pan, and I like to season my chicken before. This is going to go in the oven, but before, I like to have it seared. And, excuse me, let me sanitize. Alright. So, on the stovetop, I was able to put 4 breasts in my pan, olive oil, real butter, fresh chopped sage, fresh ground pepper, onion, and garlic. Now I held out the onion, but most people would like onion in it. And the best is fresh garlic and fresh onion. So that's in the bottom of my pan with the olive oil and the butter, and these are sauteing super high, super quick on each side. I like it to have this look. You need to be careful. I add the butter because oil burns. If you add some butter, it helps not burn it, and you can bring it to a higher temperature. You do not want to put too much oil in your pan. You don't want it covered because then you have to wait for the oil to start to evaporate to get it to a boiling where it will fry or brown your chicken breast. Excuse me. Also, I will tell you, when you're going to flip it, even if you have tongs or whatever you're going to do, you should definitely wear a long pot holder, because when you go into the pan, the oil is going to be splattering if it's super hot. If you pull the pan off the hot burner, it's not going to stick as bad, and then the oil is not as hot. But I would wear something like this, unless I had long sleeves that I wasn't worried about. And I tell you that because this morning I did it without a pot holder on, and I happened to burn myself with some nice hot oil. So that was a trusty trick that I learned today, getting ready to come here with you guys. Good trick. Now you don't need to get burned. I did it for you. So take the chicken out. Because of the oil and butter, I put it on a trusty paper plate with a paper towel, and I let it set until it cools. And then I take the chicken breast, and I am going to put it in a baking dish like this. You can do however you prefer. You can do a cookie sheet with aluminum foil, but then the juice, which I like to keep the juice for presentation and flavor, it's going to go off into your oven. So for cooking, I'm doing it in this, but I'm not presenting it in this. So I will show you the final presentation. The first thing we are going to do is go out to our garden and pick our fresh sage. All right. Let's sanitize this. Great. So I did that, obviously. Here are some fresh sage. Now further in this presentation, I'm going to tell you why I want the longer ones. But for now, I'm just going to take the smaller pieces, and the smaller pieces are more tender, and we don't really want it to be tough with the meal. However, it's mostly just for decoration. So I want some larger ones. I'll explain why, but for now, I'm just going to take these smaller ones and just chop. So that you can do very easily, and just like I said, just cut it and chop it. All right, it doesn't have to be super finely chopped. It's not going to turn color, and it's probably very potent. So you don't want a ton. And if they're bigger pieces, then it's easier to work around it when whomever is eating it, because this is really strong. So I have my frying pan. I seasoned. I took my fresh sage, sprinkled that in my pan, seasoned with some salt, seasoned with some fresh ground pepper. You want to be careful. Sometimes, as mine today is getting low, so the pepper is ground out finer You do not want to overdo pepper because you can always add. So after that's all done, I stick it in the oven for about, say, 40 minutes on 350, but I keep an eye on it. So I did do that, and I'm going to save that sage, and then I'm going to take this. So if anyone did have feedback last week, or you tried it, our little fork, our bacon on a fork with our little message on it, let me know. And actually, I think that was a week before, but I really want to know if anyone tried that. I'm so excited. Okay, so I take that from the frying pan. After it's set and cooled, I bring it back to my baking dish, and it already has the salt, the garlic, the onion, the fresh ground pepper, and I just put it in the dish. Like this. And if you want, you can use white wine. If you don't have white wine, you can use chicken broth. And I like to have plenty because it helps the chicken to remain moist while you're baking it. So, some fresh sage, the salt, the pepper, the onion, and the garlic. And that's it. Okay, so, told you it was easy. There are a few tricks though I'd like to tell you. If I'm presenting this for someone, I do a chicken breast that I'm not going to serve, and I cut it down the middle and the thickest part to make sure it's cooked. If you're doing it straight from the oven, you should be pretty good, but if you were doing it later on, then you definitely want to make sure you know how much time you have left, what you can do for heating. Okay, so then after that, pull it out of the oven if it's cooked to my perfection. Then I take it out of the pan. I save the juice. And I put the breast on the middle of the platter. Oh, you guys, I forgot an important ingredient. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to bring my little casserole dish back. Oh my goodness, the reason it makes it chicken saltimbocca, which you might wonder why after you just saw that, is because you take prosciutto. So with the sage and some prosciutto on the top, and then some cheese, and you might want to do this, say, cook for 20-25 minutes, pull out, check it out, and then after the prosciutto is warmed and a little bit crispy, you're going to take your Swiss cheese, or whatever kind that. Swiss is what I prefer, and you're going to lay it on top. Now we're going to want that to brown, so we're going to watch it in the broiler, but I have a trick. I'm into presentation, and I used the chopped sage for flavor, but I would like, and that is why I saved my large leaves, I would like these to be part of my presentation. So, you know, I'm going to take this out. Definitely saving this little marinade we have there. I want to show you something really cool. This is not for the flavor. This is all for presentation. It will do flavor, but for presentation, I can put this around my piece of chicken so it will come out the side like that, and trick. Unbelievable. You take more cheese and you just stick it on top of your ends that you want to be seen. And then you put it in under the broiler. I did on high. And like I said, you have to watch it. It all depends on your temperature. It depends on a lot of different things. So I actually stand in my kitchen and I open and I look and I open. And I have another trusty trick. You can do exercises in between this. You can look at your chicken and then do a squat. You can look at your chicken and then stretch. So you don't have to just stand there. It's kind of hard to stand and watch chicken and cheese on top broil. So that's that. That is how it's going to go into the oven. We're going to keep a close eye on it. And then when it comes out, it is going to look like this. And I am going to lift it up. I had to transport it so it doesn't look like super duper fresh, but that is my beautiful sage with my prosciutto and my chicken breast with a little bit of fresh garlic, onion, the salt, the pepper, the fresh sage, the presentation, and then I took the flavoring. It's not really a marinade, it's more of a sauce. It would be called in a restaurant probably a light wine, fresh sage wine drizzled over it. I have the chicken broth, but whatever you'd like. And then I am going to decorate, even though I already have that on there, I want a little fresh sage, like as a decoration. This decoration's not working really well, and I thought I had some nice fresh ones. Well, that's what cooking is all about. You have to make the best of what you have, and you make it awesome. So I am just going to kind of fold these underneath here for presentation. Oh my, it's going to be tricky. Oh, there we go. Perfect. A couple of these smaller ones. And the stems. I'm going to do this little one. Watch this. Took 3 prongs. Oh yeah. And if you want a little more color, you can always twist on some prosciutto. You can always add some red pepper flakes for some color of red. However, simply, that is super easy. Chicken breast, some fresh sage from your garden, fresh herbs, garlic, onion, and some fresh ground pepper, a little sea salt, and voila, chicken saltimbocca. Now, that's that. I want you guys to try it. I would love for you guys to get back to me. Let me know what you think. Try it. Give me some hints. Let me know. However, that's it for today. I do have a cookbook I'd like to show you since we are the library. And this is what we have. Books. We have a lot of other things, but we do have some very beautiful cookbooks. So that has fresh herbs. We have our fresh sage. And I want to thank you guys very much for coming to the West Elmira Library for our cooking lesson. I hope to see you next week around 7 o'clock on Thursday. And enjoy. So it was on your mark, get set, go. This is on your mark, get set. Bye.